The aim of this video is for you to learn how to create related tables to demonstrate the power of relational databases. This video is about 15 minutes long, so just play and pause it as you go along and take the sections that you need as you go. So make sure you've also already watched the video titled Creating a Basic Task List before continuing. So in this step of the guide, we'll build the engine of our CRM and in doing so start to introduce the concept of a relational database. We will do this as a practical example and you'll see how AgileBase makes this straightforward. We'll be building a bigger system, but for the most part, it's simply reusing things that we've already covered. So we're going to be creating firstly a table called organisations and then adding a field called organisation name. Now we have sped up this part of the process as you've already learned how to do both of these things. So we're now going to jump to a version where many fields have been created. So now we've just exited off of that table and we're going to click on tiles and add a tile. We're going to name the tile CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Management, which is just an industry term for systems to manage customers and sales inquiries and basically any data that you work on as a business. And click Create. So if we now exit off of this tile, we're going to be creating a view. So we will again speed up this process as you already know how to do it. So we're going to call the view All Organisations. And here is your view, which we have filled out with test data. Okay, so once we scroll back up to the top, if you toggle off of development mode, there we go, just done top left, and you go back to the home page, you will now be able to see the tile which is called CRM. So in this next section of the video, we'll be taking into account the fact that a company might have more than one location. So we will need a table to hold information about the various addresses that they might have. So toggle onto development mode, and we'll be creating a table called sites. So we will now be adding a relation field. A relation field links the site to the organisation. Under name, we're going to type in organisation. And then we will select the type as relation. So the table to use is organisations and value to display is organisation name. So if we just add that, if you then click on fields, you can see that this has been created. So you'll now click on names and views to create a view. Just like before, this is being done to access the data. This view is going to be called All Sites, and again we will speed up this process as you already know how to create a view. So we will now demo data being filled into this view. So we can click on Add Site to begin to add data, which can be seen at the top right of the screen. So you click on that. So you can choose the parent organisation. For example, here we are going to choose AgileBase, and then we're just going to enter some info such as site name for the purpose of the example. You can click Choose, and then choose a parent organisation, and then fill in the data which you would like to fill in the different sections seen on screen. So that simple action of setting the parent org means that we have created a relational database. So we're now going to continue and get more powerful functionality from this system. We're going to be adding another table of data that is related to an organisation, which is the people who work there. So we're going to be creating a table called contacts. So we'll go back to the home page by clicking on AgileBase top left, toggle onto development mode, click on tables, click add a table. So we're going to be calling this contacts and create. Just waiting for that to load. So we will now be adding another relation field called parent organisation. This next section is important because we are now creating more than one relational field, which means we can start to create a web of data. There is information on AgileBase docs under Relational Database Concepts and under Relation Field Options that will be very useful in understanding the concept of a relational field and how important and useful they can be. So we're going to name this relational field Parent Org. The type will be relation. The table to use we will change to organisations because this is what we want to link it to. And the value to display will be organisation name. So then click add. And we will now do the exact same thing but for location. So under name, type in location. The type will be relation. This time we'll select the table to use as sites, as this is what it's linking to. And the value to display will be changed to site name. And click add. Then if you go back to fields, you can see that these have both been created. We're now going to demo adding a contact. So to do this, you're going to go to names and views. So we're going to go to the tile CRM. And we'll call the view all contacts. Click OK. So we will then click on add a contact, which you can see top right. So you can choose the organisation. And you can choose the site, for example, head office. And then you can just start to enter the details such as name, email, job title, etc. So that's one way of doing it, but viewing and adding data in isolation doesn't feel very natural. So what we want to do is look at an organisation's records and see its lists of contacts there and then. And one way AgileBase does this is to add tabs to a record. So we've just gone back to the home page, click on CRM, click on one of the organisations. So currently there are no tabs. We're going to toggle onto development mode, click edit table, click on tabs. We're going to select a table and we're firstly going to add a contacts tab. And we're then going to select a table again, and this time we're going to add sites. So if you then X off and scroll down, you can see how these tabs have been created. Now, if you want to change the order of these and move them around, you can go back into development mode and click on one of the pencils on a tab to edit it. We'll click on View All Sites and then click Edit View. You can then drag and drop to change the layout of things. For example, here we will drop main telephone next to site name. So if you now exit off after doing this, and then turn off edit mode and press the back button, you can now see how on the Sites tab the telephone number is next to the site name. So as you can see, the ability to have relational data presented easily here for the user is the real power of any system built in AgileBase.